Welcome to Novel Love Hearing. We bring you hundreds of novel audiobooks covering every genre and every kind of story you can imagine. Action? We've got it. Adventure? Absolutely. Horror? Of course. Whether it's the legendary Uchiha Massacre or outrageous tales like stealing Naruto's and Sasuke's women, you'll find it here. From epic series like One Piece, Bleach, Fairy Tail, and Hunter x Hunter, to countless other adventures, our library has it all. Love novels but don't have time to read? No worries, just plug in your earbuds, sit back, and let the story take over. Good listening, and happy hearing. Zhonglin really didn't want to come. If possible, he would prefer to take detours whenever he saw Madame Chen in the future. But Chen Jia had already told her mother about the final shaping process, and surprisingly, Chen mother had agreed, telling Chen Jia to bring Zhonglin over tomorrow. This was really quite awkward. It wasn't that Zhonglin hadn't considered refusing, but he had a feeling that if he refused, Chen mother would probably personally visit Twin Peaks. In the end, Zhonglin and Chen Jia came to the Chen family mansion. As for little Nyanian and his master said he would take little Nyanian to play in the mountains, and little Nyanian was very happy about it, so she didn't come along. Probably going to steal honey. Then I thank young Master Zhong. Madame Chen took the cloth bag Zhonglin handed over and opened it ceremoniously. Soil? This is 5-colored soil, a fortunate encounter I obtained in the Lost Trail secret realm. It can extend one's lifespan when used to make porcelain for tea brewing, and you can even chew it raw when hungry. It tastes quite good actually, hee. Zhonglin explained with a smile. Then this humble wife thanks young Master Zhong. But why are young Master Zhong's legs shaking so violently? Oh, I overdid my training last night. My legs are a bit sore, just a bit sore. In that case, Zhao Jia, please help support young Master Zhong inside. No need, no trouble at all. It's just some slight shaking. Since young Master Zhong says so, then never mind. Chen mother called softly to the maid beside her, take young Master Zhong to the training grounds. Yes. The maid nearby bowed slightly. Young Master Zhong, this way please. Troubling you, miss. Zhonglin nodded and followed the girl as she slowly led the way. The Chen family gate slowly closed. Inside, Chen mother looked at her daughter, while Chen Jia blushed and lowered her head to look at her small feet, her shoe tips unconsciously rubbing together. Sigh. You are. Gently tapping her daughter's head, Chen mother didn't quite know what to say about her daughter for a moment. Why did this daughter of hers have to inherit her own temperament? Zhonglin followed the maid named Little Hong toward the training grounds, passing through the backyard along the way. By the fish pond, Zhonglin saw a guy wrapped up like a mummy lying on a chair sunbathing. This thoroughly wrapped guy held a fishing rod in his hand. When a fish bit the hook, his hand would move up and down slightly, then the fish in the pond would drag the fishing rod away, making this mummy-like guy go mm. As he tried to sit up, but couldn't manage it. Though he couldn't see what the guy looked like, Zhonglin felt the figure looked increasingly familiar the more he looked. A man who could appear in the Chen household. Who could lie peacefully fishing by the pond. And who had been injured recently. Holy crap. Isn't this Chen Jia's father? Chen Huo? A regular customer. But Zhonglin looked at the mummy like Chen Huo. This is too miserable. This isn't just a few broken bones from a fall, this is practically complete paralysis. Young Master Zhong, is something wrong? Seeing Zhonglin had stopped walking, maid Little Hong came back and asked with a smile. Maid Little Hong had delicate features and an upright posture. Zhonglin felt she was probably also a pure martial artist. For some reason Zhonglin couldn't explain, he now felt a natural shadow over his heart whenever he saw a female pure martial artist. Oh, it's nothing. I was just captivated by the beauty of the courtyard. Please continue leading the way, Miss Little Hong. Zhonglin smiled, planning to make a quick escape without greeting Chen Huo. After all, even though he hadn't been the one to betray Chen Huo, he had still half-threatened Chen Huo into making the transaction with him. If he hadn't recognized and threatened Chen Huo back then, Chen Huo would have long since abandoned the belly band and run away, not leaving behind such ironclad evidence. But this guy kept the belly band in his study. That really can't be blamed on him. What's the difference between that and getting caught by the teacher reading erotic literature in class? Both are just asking for trouble. Just then, Chen Huo, who had been struggling with his fishing rod on the chair, turned his head and happened to see Zhonglin. His eyes immediately turned red as he kept gesturing at Zhonglin. Zhonglin. You little thief. Young Master Zhong, do you know the family head? Little Hong also noticed Chen Huo looking at Zhonglin quite agitatedly, his mummy-like body continuously struggling. Oh, I don't know him. But so this is the Chen family head. Truly exceptionally handsome. I can see his extraordinary appearance even through the white cloth. Young Master Zhang flatters too much. Young Master Zhang, this way please. Alright. Watching Zhang Lin follow made little Hong further away, Chen Huo let out a thump as he collapsed onto the chair, his pork trotter-like wrapped hand continuously pointing at Zhang Lin, touch my daughter. Chen Huo accidentally flipped off the chair, landing straight on the floor with what looked like excruciating pain. By this time, Zhang Lin and the maid had already gone far away. Chen family training grounds. The training ground was a large flat building with sandalwood floors covering the ground, giving it quite the feel of a dojo. At the very front of the training ground, a large golden fist was embedded straight into the character for God on the wall, looking extremely imposing. At the very front of the training ground, a large golden fist was embedded straight into the character for God on the wall, looking extremely imposing. Little Hong will take her leave now. Young Master Zhang can familiarize yourself with the training ground. The two bowed to each other, and little Hong retreated with a smile. But what did she mean by familiarize yourself with the training ground? But what did she mean by familiarize yourself with the training ground? Zhang Lin took off his shoes and stepped onto the sandalwood floor. The moment both his feet touched it and he took just one step forward. Thump. Zhang Lin immediately dropped to his knees. An enormous heavy sensation suddenly pressed down on Zhang Lin's shoulders. This pressure was countless times stronger than the fist or Chen mother had released before. Zhang Lin felt cold sweat breaking out on his forehead, his legs beginning to weaken. A primal sense of fear emerged from the depths of his heart. This feeling wasn't like a husky meeting Godzilla. It was more like Avatar's little donkey meeting Thanos. With great difficulty, he raised his head. The moment he looked up, Zhang Lin's mouth slightly opened and a holy crap escaped his lips. Was he hallucinating? Above his head were statues of deities and gods. In another dazed moment, this training ground was no longer an ordinary empty room, but an ancient battlefield of primordial gods. Before his eyes, elegant men in blue robes and women with their hair tied up stood with hands behind their backs, floating in the air as they confronted massive deities. Though human, their eyes looking at the gods were filled with nothing but contempt. If someone added some BGM right now, like nuclear explosion divine music or sword drawing divine music or something, it would be absolutely epic. Zhang Lin even felt a sense of heroic boldness, as if who else but me could take this on. But at this moment, Zhang Lin felt like a husky that had mixed into a pride of lions. Though he also wanted to howl a few times, he was afraid the others would find his howling too unpleasant and swat him to death with one paw first. Chapter 71, not even a bit pig-like at Spirit Avian Peak, within the flowing water pavilion, 2 men, 1 bird, and 1 pig were steeping tea and drinking. Hey, Gigi Bo, tell me. Brother Jiang's daughter. Is she really of the flood dragon lineage? Eagle Big raised his claw and stroked his pointed chin as he asked. I don't think she looks much like one. Gigi Bo took a sip of tea, turned his head to look outside the pavilion at those lovey-dovey pigeons, and couldn't help but think of his own wifey. But the moment he thought of his wifey, Gigi Bo remembered her secretly climbing trees behind his back with that minotaur. His large ears drooped down listlessly in defeat. I think, well, little Nyanian might be of the ancient true dragon lineage. Wook whispered softly, gently patting Gigi Bo, who was still sighing over his wife. Wow, Wook, you guy. Really hiding your true capabilities. You can even see through the seal on little Nyanian? I knew it, I just knew you weren't simple. How did you end up joining the Sun Moon cult back then? You're not exactly simple either, Eagle Big. Didn't you also say there's a seal on Nyanian? And this seal dates back to ancient times, he. I remember in the primordial era, there was a gigantic eagle that blotted out the sky and sun. It loved to battle true dragon lineages and feasted on flood dragon kinds. Eagle Big, do you happen to know it? Thank heck, watch your words. If Brother Zhang hears this, he'll definitely pluck all my feathers clean. Now that you mention it, I really feel like telling Brother Zhang about this. Hey now, if you dare spread rumors, I've got a story of my own. Rumor has it that 3,000 years ago in 10,000 Swords Province, there was a sword immortal who appeared only once in a millennium. At 10 years old, he nurtured his life-bound flying sword. By 15, he reached the Cave Mansion realm. During his early teens, he achieved the Dragon Gate realm. In his late teens, the Golden Core realm, and by the age of 20, he was already at the 3rd level of the Nascent Soul realm. By 30, he was half-step into the Jade Purity realm. Unfortunately, in the end, he was trapped by love. This genius sword immortal broke his own life-bound flying sword because of a woman and then vanished without a trace. I have a portrait here that looks quite similar to Brother Fang. Should we show it to Brother Zhang for appreciation? Come on, let me see. I want to see too. Hurry up, take it out so we can have a good laugh. See what? See what? Wook, you're no better. I heard that back in Bodhi province, there was a sacred Buddha body that could achieve supreme Buddhist Dharma, even receiving favor from the Buddha of the blissful heaven. Once that sacred Buddha body reached the Jade Purity realm, that Buddha would descend personally to take them as a disciple. But then, that sacred Buddha body abandoned Buddhism for the mortal world because of a woman from a brothel. And you have the nerve to criticize me? Don't you dare falsely accuse people. Wook rolled up his sleeves and stood up. Brother Zhang said that spreading false rumors will get you served with a lawyer's letter. How am I falsely accusing you? Are you a lawyer? What letter? Fang Kekwa also stepped onto his chair, two large heads pressing against each other, one of them shining brightly like a light bulb. Alright, stop arguing. Jijibo raised his large trotter and slammed it on the table. What's there to argue about? They're all old stories from years ago. What's so shameful about your embarrassing pasts? Could they be more shameful than mine? Piggy Hero, have I said anything? The group sat back down peacefully again, coughing awkwardly a few times. Beyond the 9 great continents of the world, there exists a demonic beast realm, borrowed from Sword Coming. In the demonic beast realm, strength is supreme. But for demonic beasts, bloodline reigns above all. Although hard work after birth is also important, noble bloodlines like the Flood Dragon lineage definitely have an easier path to cultivation compared to mountain flowers and grasses, with far fewer restrictions from the Great Tao. There's no helping it. This is a world of immortal cultivation, after all. What equality exists on the path of cultivation? Thus, every ruler of the demonic beast realm has basically been from lineages like flood dragons, demonic lions, firebirds, phoenix descendants, and other powerful cultivation experts. But 1,000 years ago, a pig demon suddenly emerged. This pig demon rampaged all the way with his supreme talent and his 9-toothed drake, eventually ascending to the throne symbolizing the demon king. However, in the very second year of his reign, this big demon disappeared. Some say he was ambushed and killed by allies, others say he died in secluded cultivation. Actually, in truth, this pig demon left because his wife was about to give birth. And he rushed to the 9 continents dominated by human cultivators. And now, this pig demon's wife might very likely have cuckolded him. Damn it. No. I can't take it anymore. Jijibo, will perish together with that Minotaur. Jijibo, hold back. Brother Pig, no. Calm down. Immediately, all 3 of them grabbed hold of Jijibo. Don't stop me. If Brother Zhang asks where Jijibo, have gone, tell him. In the end, I remained a man. A man without grass growing on his head. Who the hell cares if there's grass on your head or not? That guy isn't just any ordinary Minotaur. He is an ancient celestial ox, an old-school Minotaur. If you two really fight and make a huge scene, how are we supposed to live in peace? But my wife. Enough, no buts. If you two dare to actually fight, that little girl Chen Zhuang will pummel you into preserved pork and beef jerky with her fists. Hearing Chen Zhuang's name, Jijibo's raging flames were instantly extinguished. Like a bodybuilding pig that had lost all its dreams. Alright, Brother Zhang has the most bizarre ideas and the slickest tricks. We can ask Brother Zhang for advice later. Maybe it's all just a misunderstanding? Right, Jijibo, for example, do you think Fang Ryuo from our cult is pretty? Humphrey. Jijibo turned his head disdainfully. Such small ears, not even a big nose, such a skinny figure. Not even a bit pig-like. How could she compare to my wife's beauty? See? Who says the Minotaur would necessarily be interested in your wife? What was that phrase Brother Zhang used? I think it was reproductive isolation. Yes, reproductive isolation. So Jijibo, don't rush yet. Maybe it's all a misunderstanding? Let's wait until Brother Zhang returns. Jijibo lowered his head. Although he felt they were tricking him, he also felt they weren't entirely wrong. Jijibo lowered his head. Although he felt they were tricking him, he also felt they weren't entirely wrong. But speaking of which, Brother Zhang has been at the Chen residence for so long without returning. Could he have been forced into marriage? How could that be? Last night we helped Brother Zhang build his mud embryo realm. Though we're not professionals, we did decently. That little girl Chen Zhuang just needs to do some final touches. Then why is it taking so long? Well, just as the 4 of them stroked their chins in contemplation, suddenly, a massive pillar of light erupted from the Chen residence, shooting straight toward the protective barrier in the sky above the Sun-Moon cult. Chapter 72 Tears fell uncontrollably. A beam of light shot toward the sky, but fortunately, the Sun-Moon cult's protective formation completely absorbed the slight pillar. Moreover, the formation that resembled a golden bell shield lit up with a zing sound, much like a gleaming bald head showing off just how shiny it could be. As the light pillar disappeared, a figure drifted down gracefully. In the woman's arms, she held a little dragon girl, who was sleeping soundly against her chest, possibly because this big sister carried the scent of her father. Cult Master. The four paid their respects to Zhang Yuni, even though they had watched her grow up. Wait, it should be said they had watched several generations of cult masters grow up, especially Eagle Big, who apparently played Eagle Catches Chicks with the first-generation cult master, only to have his feathers plucked by the founding master. But regardless, proper etiquette absolutely could not be neglected. Hey! You four! Go handle the lingering remnants of that light beam immediately. Zhang Yuni had known their true identities since she was 10. Yuni. You see, our cultivation levels are so low now, this kind of thing isn't really suitable for us. Wook scratched his big bald head. That's right, Yuni, I need to bring lunch to Spirit Eagle later, otherwise how can I be a qualified simp bird? I also need to go find my wifey. Gigi Bo quickly added. My cousin called me home for dinner. You're really not going? Zhang Yuni narrowed her eyes. If you won't go, then forget it. I was going to count this toward your performance evaluation next month, but since that's the case, then I'll go. I'll go too. For the Sun Moon Cult, I'll spare no effort. The Sun Moon Cult is my home. Maintenance depends on everyone. Before Zhang Yuni could finish speaking, the four soared into the air and flew to the four directions at the edge of the Sun Moon Cult. In less than 15 minutes, when the four returned to their original spots, the residual effects of the light beam had been completely eliminated. During this time, aside from some special existences, no one sensed that two people, one bird, and one pig had taken to the skies. Looking at the four standing before her, Zhang Yuni couldn't help but shake her head. When Zhang Yuni inherited the position of cult master, the previous cult master had given her a list of ordinary people within the cult. Some had always existed within the Sun Moon Cult, merely changing identities every 1,000 years. Others, after all their old friends had died, would undergo body dissolution and reincarnate, being born with knowledge, then joining the Sun Moon Cult again. Their cultivation levels ranged from as low as Willow Tendon Realm to no higher than Nascent Soul Realm. They basically never left the Sun Moon Cult, the ultimate homebodies among homebodies. Unless their performance evaluation was too poor and they had to go on missions, they could drink happy fat soda and lie in rocking chairs their entire lives. They never cared about cultivation levels, nor did they care about life and death. Whether it was their own death or the death of friends, they would never forcibly reverse it. Sometimes when going out on missions, even if they got beaten to death, they never thought about breaking through realms, but would simply reincarnate and try again, never tiring of it. Playing in the mortal world, nothing quite compared to this. Zhang Yuni knew that the two people, one pig, and one bird before her were indeed not normal people, pig, or bird. She also knew that breaking through realms was just a matter of thought for them, but Zhang Yuni wasn't afraid at all. This wasn't because Zhang Yuni had some leverage over them. What kind of leverage could you have against beings who had cultivated to this extent? But rather because she believed this was the Sun Moon Cult. A sect different from others, a strange sect that resembled the mortal world yet lacked its schemes and deceit. Moreover, the ordinary people within the cult weren't just these four. Besides, Zhang Yuni felt that given another 100 years, she could definitely enter the Ascension realm, no worse than them at their peak. Come, cult master, have some tea. Yes, this tea was secretly picked by Wook during his last mission, it's quite good. Forget it, I won't drink any. I still need to look after the child. Zhang Yuni looked at little Nyanyan in her arms and gently stroked her small head. Oh, right, let me ask you a question. Will it count toward performance evaluation? It will. We will hold nothing back. No, nothing unanswered. Zhang Yuni momentarily didn't know what to say. Why did it feel like these people were becoming more and more bootlicking? No good, she needed to keep little Linlin away from them in the future, otherwise little Linlin would be led astray by them. Their cultivation levels ranged from as low as Willow Tendon Realm to no higher than Nascent Soul Realm. They basically never left the Sun Moon Cult, the ultimate homebodies among homebodies. Unless their performance evaluation was too poor and they had to go on missions, they could drink happy fat soda and lie in rocking chairs their entire lives. Chen Family Training Ground. Outside the training ground, Chen mother tightly held on to her daughter who wanted to charge onto the field. On the other side, maid little Hong calmly watched Zhang Lin kneeling on one knee on the ground. Beside them, Chen father sat in a wheelchair bandaged like a mummy, his mood getting better and better. Humphrey. Let you dare to whisk away my close-fitting little padded jacket. Let you root up my family's adorable little cabbage. Now you're getting your comeuppance. Looking at Zhang Lin drenched in sweat, his body trembling, Chen father couldn't help but chuckle, only to be punched in the chest by his daughter. Not only that, but also kicked by his wifey as a supplement. Mother, little Lin He. This is the final shaping of the mud embryo realm. But Chen Jia tightly gripped her mother's hand, her eyes welling up with anxious tears. Little Lin can't withstand it. Looking at her daughter pouting anxiously with tears swirling in her eyes, Chen mother gently embraced Chen Jia, softly smoothing her daughter's long hair. Zhao Jia, you never should have taught him crushing God Fist. Mother told you long ago that crushing God Fist is different from ordinary fist techniques. Ordinary martial artists can't practice crushing God Fist. Without a heart of the world exists only for this martial artist's single fist. Practicing crushing God Fist to the end will only shatter one's divine intent with the powerful fist aura. Fortunately you told me you wanted to help Zhonglin shape his mud embryo. Otherwise, if you really helped him shape his mud embryo without a heart that stares directly at deities, then it would truly be over. That would be truly irreparable, and Zhonglin's martial path future would be destroyed by your hands. What mother is doing now already counts as timely remedy. Rather than have Zhonglin's divine intent shattered by his own fist aura later, it's better to have Zhonglin face divine majesty now. If Zhonglin can withstand the pressure of divine majesty, then his mud embryo will form naturally. If not, then his mud embryo will shatter, and it will likely be impossible for him to become a martial artist in the future. You little girl, how could you not know what's important? As she spoke, Chen mother somewhat angrily flicked her daughter's forehead. Your daughter forgot. And also, Chen Jia lowered her little head with grievance. And what? And mother, you told me to teach little Lin fist techniques, but I only know crushing God Fist. Chen mother was momentarily speechless, because she realized her daughter's words actually made sense. From childhood to adulthood, she had only taught her daughter crushing God Fist. If she told Zhao Jia to teach Zhonglin, wouldn't that mean she could only teach crushing God Fist? Ah, how could she not have thought of this? The more Chen mother thought about it, the angrier she became. Then she glared fiercely at her husband. Humphrey. It's all husband's fault. If he hadn't distracted her with that belly band business, would she have overlooked this? Child's father, if anything happens to young Master Zhang. For the next 2 months, you'll sleep alone. No returning to the bedroom. Ah. The mummy-like Chen Huo sitting in the wheelchair was momentarily stunned. Tears involuntarily fell down. Chapter 73 I understand senior. Holy crap. That's freaking awesome. In the illusion realm, Zhonglin watched the dazzling special effects flying everywhere, his eyes practically sparkling. Just now, a guy with flowing long hair punched a massive fiery divine avatar, sending waves of scorching heat radiating outward like some epic version of a power wave. There was also a delicate-looking woman with slender arms and legs who punched a giant dragon right on its head, followed by a boom as a mushroom cloud rose up, practically comparable to a nuclear explosion. But as he kept watching, though the effects were spectacular and amazing, he started feeling like kneeling like this wasn't really sustainable. Who knew how much time had passed outside? What if Chen Mother and Chen Jia had already arrived while he was still foolishly kneeling here? If Chen Jia stood right in front of him and took advantage of the situation, wouldn't he be at a huge disadvantage? And what Zhonglin felt was most important. His knees were starting to feel kinda sore. Wait. Why have I been kneeling on one knee all this time? I'm not proposing to anyone. That's when Zhonglin finally realized this crucial question. Right. Why am I kneeling anyway? When he first entered the illusion realm, the tremendous pressure and spiritual intimidation had indeed made it hard to breathe, even giving him the feeling he might piss himself. But gradually, as he got used to the scene, especially after realizing this was an illusion, Zhonglin started feeling like it wasn't such a big deal. In his previous life, he'd used VR to ride roller coasters, watch Sadako and Kayako. This was just like watching a special effects movie. He wouldn't get hurt anyway. Besides, even if something did happen, he had revive coins. Other people fearing death was understandable. But I, Zhonglin. Hey, you come and kill me. With this thought, Zhonglin immediately felt emboldened like alcohol-fueled courage, or a dog daring to steal buns. He developed this heroic spirit of what can you do to me between heaven and earth, come kill me 10,000 times if you dare. And once he had this heroic spirit, that sense of oppression completely vanished. It's just that Zhonglin had been completely captivated by the special effects spectacle, kneeling like he was watching some blockbuster movie. And these effects were incredibly realistic, with full surround sound and everything. So, Zhonglin had forgotten to stand up. The moment Zhonglin stood up, in reality, Zhonglin in the training ground also rose to his feet. Mother. Zhao Lin He. Watching Zhonglin stand up, Chen Jia's eyes sparkled with the most genuine joy. Chen Mother also smiled with satisfaction, only took him the time it takes an incense stick to burn, quite impressive. Humphrey, taking an incense stick's time is nothing special. I only took 15 minutes back then, and Zhao Jia took less time than drinking a cup of tea when she was 3. Father Chen pursed his lips from his wheelchair, though his eyes showed some appreciation. After all, how could this brat compare to his daughter? But honestly, if this kid couldn't even pass this test, he really shouldn't entertain any improper thoughts about his daughter. Wait. Even if he passes this test, he still can't have any improper thoughts about Zhao Jia. Whoever dares to touch my little treasure, I'll break their legs. All 3 of them. Don't mind your father, he's just being prideful. Back then, your father knelt for 2 whole days and nights before getting up. Chen mother said with a light laugh. It's fine, mother. Even if Zhao Lin is slower than father, I don't mind. But Zhao Lin is so amazing, father is so lame. Chen Huo clutched his chest with his left hand, feeling a sharp pain. In the illusion realm, the moment Zhang Lin stood up, it seemed like all those senior martial artists punching against the heavens in the sky nodded at him with what appeared to be approving looks. Though Zhang Lin had no idea why they were nodding at him. He just stood up, right? Why did they look so pleased? As Zhang Lin stood up and stretched, a spirited guy floated down, looking Zhang Lin up and down with an appreciative gaze that gave him goosebumps. Can this senior see me? Zhang Lin cupped his hands in respect just as a huge meteor came crashing down toward them, only to be shattered by a casual punch from this senior. The shattered meteor raised clouds of dust in the air, messing up Zhang Lin's hair. I can see you, and yet I cannot. Is this senior perhaps a Buddhist disciple? Why does he speak so philosophically? What is your name? Completely ignoring Zhang Lin's confusion, the senior asked with a smile. This junior. Zhang Yida, courtesy named Dipao. No way was he giving his real name. Even though this was the Chen residence and the illusion realm shouldn't be dangerous, you never know. Haha, Dipao. Great name. So domineering. Maybe senior should just call me Yida. Alright, brother Dipao. The senior patted Zhang Lin's shoulder. Dipao, as the who knows how many th generation successor of the crushing god fist, what insights do you have about it? Crushing god fist? What Chen Jia taught me is called crushing god fist. How come I never heard of it, but the name sounds badass. After a moment's thought, Zhang Lin answered, the crushing god fist is profoundly mysterious, radiating dominance. Each punch contains the energy of heaven and earth, competing with the heavens, challenging the gods. It's the supreme fist technique in the world. Haha, you kid, why do you enjoy spouting such honest truths? Haha, I really like you. Though Zhang Lin really wanted to mock this senior's accent, he held back. As for his honest truths. What a joke, his mud embryo realm wasn't even fully formed yet. No matter how he practiced that fist technique, it always felt like doing calisthenics. What kind of insights could he possibly have? Might as well just boast. Come. Brother Dipao, what is that? The senior put his arm around Zhang Lin's shoulder, pointing toward the myriad gods in the sky, each deity radiating divine majesty. The divine avatars were as vast as the horizon, yet every pure martial artist fighting them grew more courageous in battle, becoming utterly fanatical. Senior, I see the earth-shattering spectacle of the human god war. The senior nodded, pointing to another side. Then tell me, what do you see there? Where the senior pointed, a blood-soaked pure martial artist was slammed to the ground by the trunk of a divine elephant's true form. The earth shook violently, and the martial artist looked on the verge of death. Just as the elephant was about to deliver the final blow, raising its thick leg to stomp down, the pure martial artist stood up, laughed wildly at the sky, and threw everything into one final punch, perishing together with the giant elephant. Zhang Lin was deeply moved by this passionate scene, his heart burning with passion. Senior. I see the dominance of our martial artists. Very good. The senior nodded again. Zhang Lin's eyes lit up, passion surging. I understand now, senior. Your meaning is that even when facing gods, we must look straight ahead. Compete with the gods for the heavens. No. You don't understand. Huh? Zhang Lin was confused. Then senior means our martial artists must have an indomitable will, never retreating until the last moment. As long as we have one breath left, we must throw one more punch. No. Actually what I mean is. The senior patted Zhang Lin's shoulder, looking profoundly into the distance. If you encounter opponents at the level of gods, don't be stupid enough to fight head-on. Run if you can. If you can't run, taking one down isn't a loss, killing two is a bloody profit. At the very least. Die with some dignity. Chapter 74. Don't hit the kidney. Alright, next up, it's your turn. The senior released Zhang Lin's shoulder, and in the next moment, Zhang Lin found himself lifted into the air. Before him stood a guy who looked somewhat like Bald Strong. From this Bald Strong's presence, Zhang Lin felt an overwhelming divine might. That powerful oppressive sensation assaulted him once more, not just physically but especially that deep-seated fear emanating from the very depths of his soul. Roar. Bald Strong suddenly roared at Zhonglin, his hairstyle getting messed up again by the force. Humans. You are ultimately my playthings. How dare you dream of freedom, utterly foolish beyond measure. In the next instant, Bald Strong rapidly grew enormous. That crushing pressure made it hard for Zhonglin to breathe. Now he finally understood what that senior meant. Facing an existence of this level, running was the best option, but right now, turning to flee would only get him killed faster. So Zhonglin decided. Might as well commit suicide. Perhaps if he disintegrated his weapon in this illusion, he would wake up. With a thought from Zhonglin, first snow landed in his hand. Madam, young Master Zhonghe. Little Hong interrupted the family of three, and their attention focused back on Zhonglin. Everyone in the training ground saw Zhonglin stand up, hammer his old legs a few times, support his waist with both hands, wiggle his hips in circles, twist his neck, and even bounce around a bit. This kid is about to throw a punch. Sitting in his rocking chair, watching Zhonglin's refreshed and clear eyes, Chen Huo couldn't help but feel somewhat nervous. Once he threw this punch, his mud embryo realm would be completely solidified, and his crushing god fist would truly count as properly initiated. Everyone saw Zhonglin stop bouncing and slowly raise his hand. But just when everyone thought Zhonglin was about to deliver this punch, his life-bound flying sword shot out from his aku point and landed in his palm. Then everyone saw Zhonglin place the sword horizontally against his own neck with his right hand, as if he was about to commit suicide. Wait. That kid's head seems to have problems, he seems to want to kill himself. Ah. Chen Huo abruptly sat up from his wheelchair, but as he took a step forward, he suddenly collapsed to the ground. Mother. Let me go, I need to stop Zhonglin. Zhonglin, wake up. Zhonglin. The girl being tightly held couldn't break free from her mother's embrace no matter how hard she tried, tears dripping down continuously. Chen mother was also incredibly shocked inside, her fist half clenched, considering whether to punch him awake. But if she forcibly interrupted him, Zhonglin would truly never become a martial artist in this lifetime. But this shouldn't be happening, why would it be like this? Logically speaking, once he stood up, gained the courage and determination to face the divine being, and took that first step, throwing that punch should be simple. Why would this kid want to kill himself? What is his brain made of? Just as Zhonglin was about to slit his throat with the sword, and Chen mother was about to punch him awake, suddenly, Zhonglin lowered the sword. Then the guy scratched his head again, and afterwards, Zhonglin seemed to have gotten some idea, holding his life-bound flying sword forged like ice and snow as if it were a javelin. Take this. Zhonglin took a few running steps and then threw first snow straight forward. A white light flashed past, piercing straight through the roof and shooting out like a comet. Return my handsome fist. Then Zhonglin shouted loudly, leaping into the air, throwing frantic punches at nothingness. It looked like his rain-like punches were all aimed at someone's face. In the illusion, Zhonglin had initially indeed considered suicide, but Zhonglin found that he simply couldn't bring himself to do it. Although Zhonglin had died several times before, if the other party acted swiftly it wasn't so bad. He hardly felt anything, like that time he encountered Zhao Xueli in Black Tortoise City or when he was ambushed during the battle against the Six Great Sects. The other parties had all acted cleanly and efficiently, clearly experienced hands. In contrast, that time his senior sister pierced his heart, that really hurt. And if he had to kill himself? What if he couldn't do it cleanly? Would it be very painful? If blood choked his throat, wouldn't that be even more uncomfortable? What if he didn't die completely and someone gave him a few extra kicks? Wouldn't that be even more humiliating? And most importantly, voluntary weapon disintegration truly required courage. After all, who would casually slit their own throat for no reason? So Zhonglin decided. He would fight to his heart's content. Even if he died, he would turn into a mosquito and bite the guy hard. So in the illusion, Zhonglin gripped first snow, took a few running steps, and hurled the sword at the enormous Bald Strong before him. Then, Zhonglin leaped into the air, return my handsome fist, your daddy will give you a complete makeover. Zhonglin raised his thick fists, his fist intent reaching its peak. Each punch carried first snow's sword energy as he madly pummeled the opponent's enormous face. While using return my handsome fist, Zhonglin intentionally or unintentionally mixed in crushing god fist, but it felt too awkward to use. Return my handsome fist felt much more natural. Although aside from the infused sword energy, the punches themselves had basically no killing power. They watched as this Bald Strong was transformed by Zhonglin into Wu Yanzu one moment, into Gujuji the next, and then into Kang. Dong. As he threw the final punch, feeling utterly exhilarated and about to transform the opponent into a famous basketball trainee, a bell tolled out of nowhere. Huh? The illusion instantly shattered. Zhonglin, feeling he hadn't quite finished, slowly landed. First snow, which had been inexplicably thrown by its mentally questionable master, spun several times in the air before returning to Zhang Lin's acupoint. So the illusion is broken just like that? Zhang Lin looked at his surroundings, then at his hands. Could it be that Bald Strong didn't want to learn singing, dancing, and basketball? Zhang Lin. Before Zhang Lin could turn around, a delicate figure crashed into his back, a pair of small hands tightly locking around his waist. Although Zhang Lin felt his back was getting painfully pressed. Ms. Chen, self-respect, self-respect. I know you're worried about me, but this will cause misunderstandings. Zhang Lin really wanted to pry her hands off, but since when did this little girl have such strength? Who's worried about you? Noticing her loss of composure, Chen Jia blushed slightly and released Zhang Lin's waist. Ms. Chen, sorry, I'm just too handsome, making you develop feelings for me. Zhang Lin turned around, looking at Chen Jia who was lowering her head, fidgeting with her fingers, displaying a girlish demeanor that was quite adorable. He knew she was worried about him as a friend, but he still teased her. What are you talking about? Ah. Chen Jia punched Zhang Lin in his old waist. It felt like his kidney had shattered. Don't hit my kidney. Don't kick my kidney either. Damn, your parents are here, don't mess with me. Let go quickly, my ear is about to fall off. Watching the two play fighting on the training ground, Chen Mother smiled slightly. Mud Embryo Realm perfected, that's quite good. Chapter 75 Look. Wu Luck. Congratulations, young Master Zhang, on reaching the Mud Embryo Realm perfection. In a small pavilion within the Chen residence, Zhang Lin sat together with Chen Huo, who was wrapped up like a mummy. Zhang Lin had bandages wrapped around his waist, courtesy of Chen Jia's beating, and medicinal patches on his neck, courtesy of Chen Jia's biting. Although this junior doesn't fully understand what happened, I still thank Madam Chen. Zhang Lin stood up and cupped his hands in salute. As for bowing, he'd pass on that for now. Chen Mother looked at Zhang Lin and nodded slightly, gently stroking her daughter's long hair. Our Chen family's training ground is also known as the God Training Field. For young Master Zhang to practice our family's crushing God Fist, you must undergo certain trials. Only by bravely facing your fears can you directly confront the divine and shatter gods with a single punch. Bravely face fears? Let's do this. Young Master Zhang, what did you say? Nothing. Zhang Lin cupped his hands again. This junior merely got lucky. Young Master Zhang is too modest. Chen Mother stood up and gave a slight bow. The crushing God Fist is extremely dangerous. It was Zhao Jia's recklessness that put you through this. Please forgive her. If we had ruined young Master Jiang's martial path prospects, that would truly be a great sin. It's fine, I don't mind. Zhang Lin drank a cup of tea and waved his hand. Madam Chen had already explained the process of events to him, and only then did Zhang Lin realize how perilous his situation in the illusion had been. But fortunately, the outcome was quite good. If young Master Zhang doesn't mind, in a couple of days I will replace Zhao Jia to help you train for the martial artist's second realm. Well, thank you for your kindness, Madam Chen, but I have to go out on a mission tomorrow. The martial artist's second realm will have to wait for another time. Truth be told, Zhang Lin could have stayed a few more days, but one look at Chen Huo lying in a wheelchair beside him like a mummy made Zhang Lin immediately lose his nerve. In that case, it's up to you, young Master Zhang. However, please make sure to practice diligently. These next 2 days your fist intent will enter a stabilization period, but after 2 days you must practice the crushing God Fist's stance walking at least 100 times daily. 100 times? Chen Mother smiled and nodded, yes, and not a single repetition less. Otherwise, if the fist intent becomes too strong and cannot circulate smoothly, the mud embryo you just perfected will be shattered, and there might even be life-threatening danger. Zhang Lin's eyebrows twitched. Even if his great Tao were severed, after reviving once he would completely recover, and his realm would be preserved. But precisely because his realm would be preserved. That was the frustrating part. It was like a game save file. Once he achieved perfection in the first realm of martial arts, his body automatically saved that state. If he accidentally failed to complete the 100 stance walks and died, even if he revived, he would still have to do the 100 stance walks again, otherwise he would still die. Damn. Isn't this just screwing me over? Wouldn't the Pegasus Meteor Fist be perfectly fine? If I saved up infamy points for a few more years I could buy it, so why did I have to learn this crushing God Fist? For a moment, Zhang Lin really wanted a refund. It will be difficult at first, but later. Zhang Lin's eyes lit up, later I won't need to practice anymore? Chen Mother smiled, later you'll get used to it. Zhao Jia and I will go practice fist techniques now. Let husband keep young Master Zhang company. Take care, Madam Chen. Chen Mother led her reluctant daughter, who looked back every 3 steps, as they slowly left the pavilion, leaving only Zhang Lin and Chen Huo inside. Father doesn't like Zhao Lin. They'll end up fighting. After Chen Jia and her mother had walked some distance away, she said resentfully. You. Chen mother sighed softly and gently tapped her daughter's forehead. They say girls in love have negative IQ, but her daughter hadn't even started dating yet. How had her IQ already dropped to 0? Zhao Jia, if you always throw yourself at him like this, even if he likes you, he won't cherish you. Who says I like him? Chen Jia's pretty face flushed slightly as she turned away. No. I need to go back. Otherwise that beast will be bullied by father. But if you go back now, will those martial fortunes still approach Zhang Lin? The girl pouted cutely and stamped her foot. Though she really wanted to be with that beast Zhang Lin, her mother was right. Earlier, her mother hadn't finished explaining. Actually, Zhang Lin's first martial artist realm was the strongest mud embryo realm in the 9 provinces. As long as Zhang Lin hadn't stepped into the second martial artist realm, no one's mud embryo realm could surpass Zhang Lin's. And as a reward for achieving the strongest first martial artist realm, martial fortunes would come from all directions. If she stayed by Zhang Lin's side, even if those martial fortunes came, they wouldn't even glance at Zhang Lin. They would all rush toward her instead. The reason was simple. Chen Jia was the first genius since ancient times in the 9 provinces to achieve the strongest realm in every stage from the first martial artist realm, mud embryo, to the 6th martial artist realm, martial core. And Chen mother had her daughter publicly claim to be at the 7th martial artist realm, golden body realm, otherwise, other martial artists would doubt their own cultivation levels. Although declaring one realm higher during confrontations could make her daughter seem less astonishingly talented. Even though she still thoroughly defeated her opponents. It ultimately saved them a lot of trouble. They're coming. Gently holding her daughter in her arms, Chen mother looked up at the martial fortunes converging from all directions. Zhao Jia, what do you think? Will Zhang Lin accept them, or will he scatter them like we mother and daughter did? Martial artists rely only on themselves, never on elusive things like martial fortune. That guy might be a beast, but he has that kind of backbone. Chen Jia mumbled as she looked at the sky. In Wudong Prefecture's Gan Earth Fist set. Countless nail-pure martial artists carried large trees on their backs while furiously punching the ground. One elder kept shouting 1, 2, 3, 4. With every punch thrown by the martial artists, the entire sect became filled with supreme fist aura. Rest for 1 incense stick's time. Everyone bathe in place. Yes. All the martial artists in the square deftly pulled large bathtubs from their storage bags, then poured hot water halfway from large capacity plenty enough brand-insulated water bags. As if trying to boil themselves, everyone quickly added pre-prepared medicinal bath ingredients to their tubs, then jumped in bare-bottomed. Ah. Comfortable. 1 bath in life, 1 second in paradise. Yeah. Really refreshing. Under the summer sun, all the martial artists had towels on their foreheads, arms resting on the edges of their tubs as they looked up at the blue sky and white clouds, enjoying the beautiful sky and surrounding birdsong. Some pure martial artists with 8-pack ABS placed little yellow ducks in their tubs, some read fan literature books while bathing, and others competed to see who could create the largest bubbles from farting underwater. Just as everyone was enjoying themselves, they heard one guy shout, "Look! Martial fortune!" All the guys looked up to see martial fortunes filling the sky, rapidly converging toward one direction. This phenomenon could only mean one thing. The strongest martial artist realm had been born, and judging by the scale of these martial fortunes, it seemed to be the strongest 3rd martial artist realm. Damn it. You, reading fan literature. And you, playing with little yellow ducks. And all of you. Later you'll pop your own bubbles with your mouths. Everyone assume horse stance in your tubs using true chi. As the number 1 fist sect in Wudong Prefecture. 20 years. 20 years and our sect hasn't produced a single strongest martial artist realm. Everyone get up. The elder completely lost his composure, grabbing a wolf tooth club and starting to beat them. Chapter 76, Little Thief, shout again. At the Fazolu sect, a man sporting an alpaca hairstyle was enthusiastically recounting a thrilling battle to his junior disciples. Imagine that day, your senior brother fought 300 rounds with that flower thief Zhang Lin, neither giving ground nor retreating. Finally, we exchanged sword strikes and punches, separating once more as shockwaves swept through. In the end, I exhausted all my spiritual energy to unleash Ghostfire's roar. That flower thief Zhang Lin also wiped his finger along his sword, executing his ultimate technique, Dragon Falls Apart. We shouted each other's names as our techniques collided, ice and fire intertwining to create countless spiritual waves. If the elders hadn't intervened in time, some lower realm cultivators would have been injured. Senior brother Liangchen, you're amazing. Ha ha ha, just average, just average. Unfortunately, I wasn't at my best that day, otherwise I might have gained a slight advantage. Although Zhonglin is strong, compared to your senior brother, he's still slightly inferior. Senior brother Liangchen, I heard Zhonglin is very handsome, is that true? Nonsense, if he weren't handsome, how could he be a flower thief? But compared to your senior brother, he's still lacking somewhat. Ah. Some junior sisters showed disappointed expressions. The senior brother wasn't bad looking, but he wasn't particularly handsome either. If Zhonglin was even worse than him, then he must be just average. Although the newspapers had Zhonglin's portrait, how could you really tell from a drawing? But why were so many sisters spreading rumors about Zhonglin's good looks? Could it be because Zhonglin had charm? Senior brother, will that flower thief Zhonglin participate in next year's Dao competition? Zaya, young Master Zhong is from the demonic cult, we're the orthodox sect. But, just as Zaya was about to argue, sky-obscuring martial fortune swept across the heavens. Heavens, another strongest realm martial artist has been born. They must be a handsome guy. They must have 8-pack ABS. They must be really enduring at push-ups. At the Dragon Gate sect, many cultivators looked up at the overwhelming martial fortune filling the sky, sighing with emotion as they thought of a certain person. Qin Zhao, do you remember how junior brother Zhonglin said he wanted to become a pure martial artist? Of course I remember. When junior brother Zhong heard that pure martial artists never suffer from kidney deficiency, he became incredibly fascinated by the idea. Do you think junior brother Zhong succeeded? Whether he succeeded or not, I don't know. But if junior brother Zhong really stepped onto the path of adulthood, he'd probably be in deep trouble. Sigh. The two sighed together, their gaze unconsciously drifting toward senior sister Lin's personal mountain peak. Even with the barrier laid by the founding elder and master's wife, sword energy shot skyward from that peak. On a cloud-soaring ship, a woman wearing a bamboo hat and carrying twin swords stood by the railing, watching the rolling clouds. Unconsciously, the girl's thoughts began to wander. I, Zhang Yida, am willing to die for you, young lady. Miss Zhao, run quickly. Young lady, I'm about to die. Let's play tiles together. Miss Zhao, what were you asking me? Phrase after phrase surfaced in the girl's mind. Unconsciously, beneath the bamboo hat, the girl's lips curved into a slight smile as her eyes looked into the distance. Sigh. Among the 80,000 characters in the world, only the character for love hurts the most. In the girl's mind, a woman's voice quietly emerged. Sword Spirit Sister. I'm sorry. Hearing Sword Spirit Sister's voice, the girl responded mentally, apologizing for forcing her way to the Sun Moon cult back then. You silly girl, you've already apologized over 10 times. I said it's fine. The Sword Spirit smiled. But our trip to Donglan City will be quite dangerous. Xueli, you can't afford to be distracted. Yes, I understand, disciple. Zhao Xueli nodded, her beautiful eyes turning sharp. No matter what, she could never forget the day the solitary demonic cult massacred the carefree sect. Oh? Another strongest realm pure martial artist has emerged. Of course I remember. When junior brother Zhong heard that pure martial artists never suffer from kidney deficiency, he became incredibly fascinated. When was the last time someone reached the strongest realm? Seems like it was a few years ago. Although I've seen it many times, the sight of this overwhelming martial fortune always feels magnificent. Ha ha ha, what's the use of magnificence? Eventually, this martial fortune will still be shattered. True. It seems none of the recent strongest realm pure martial artists have accepted this martial fortune. This is the imposing aura of martial artists, relying on oneself rather than heaven. Although these external things are good, shattering them with one punch is so imposing. Plus, it's beneficial for mental cultivation. The passengers on the cloud-soaring ship sighed with emotion at the overwhelming martial fortune, but none believed the recipient would accept it. The two sighed together, their gaze unconsciously drifting toward senior sister Lin's personal mountain peak. Even with the barrier laid by the founding elder and master's wife, sword energy shot skyward from that peak. Alright Xueli, let's go inside. There are too many people here, it's not good. Wait a moment, Sword Spirit Sister, I want to watch a bit longer. What's so interesting about this? Among the 10 martial realms, except for the 10th realm, the strongest martial artist emerges every few years, and it's always this kind of scene. Though indeed, this martial fortune is quite abundant, probably the emergence of the strongest 3rd realm martial artist. No, Sword Spirit Sister, I feel like it's the first martial realm. First realm? The Sword Spirit felt a chill. Xueli had a natural sensitivity to changes between heaven and earth, likely originating from her supreme bone. So Sword Spirit trusted Xueli's judgment. But could the first realm's strongest really attract martial fortune from all directions throughout Wudong Prefecture? No, this wasn't impossible. Over a decade ago, when a young girl reached the first realm, she drew martial fortune from throughout the entire 9 provinces. Moreover, from then on, every time that girl broke through a realm, she became the strongest martial artist of that realm, each time drawing martial fortune from the 9 provinces. However, in the end, all this martial fortune was shattered. Many people tried to find this young girl, but were stopped by old recluses hidden deep in mountains and forests. To this day, all that was known was that she was a girl. Any other speculation was strictly forbidden. To prevent some people's deductions, even 3 renowned sages from the Confucian, Buddhist, and Taoist traditions came forward to conceal heavenly secrets. Young Master Zhang. Suddenly, Zhao Xueli's eyes lit up. Sword Spirit Sister, it's young Master Zhang who has stepped into the first martial realm. Zhang Lin? This time, Sword Spirit truly needed to question her disciple. It wasn't that she looked down on Zhang Lin, but that guy was too unreliable. Becoming a pure martial artist required enduring endless suffering, but him? Forget it, better not disturb this silly girl. Perhaps Xueli was just missing Zhang Lin too much. Throughout Wutong Prefecture at this moment, except for some ordinary civilians, every cultivator and martial artist looked up at the overwhelming martial fortune converging in one direction. In Wutong Prefecture's largest Confucian academy, virtuous gentlemen shook their heads one after another, opened the classics in their hands, and recitation voices emerged. In a Buddhist temple in Wutong Prefecture, an old monk patted the head of a clear-eyed, handsome young novice. Knowing it was time for scripture recitation, the young novice hugged his scripture book and began reading aloud on a stone in the temple courtyard, as if reciting poetry. In a Taoist temple in Wutong Prefecture, a young man sleeping on his horsetail whisk smacked his lips, rubbed his nose, and as if dreaming, waved his whisk through the air as if shooing mosquitoes. In less than 3 breaths, reading voices, scripture chanting, and the gentle breeze from the whisk all merged into the heavenly martial fortune. The overwhelming martial fortune gradually concealed its traces. Except for a very few people, no one would be able to detect its final destination. At the Sun-Moon cult's twin peaks, martial fortune had gradually converged. When the martial fortune penetrated the Sun-Moon cult's protective formation, it gradually manifested. Zhang Yuni looked up, her eyes showing slight disappointment. Ah, how did little Linlin succeed in the mud embryo realm? I was originally thinking that if little Linlin failed in the mud embryo realm, I could comfort him properly tonight. How did he succeed? Zhang Yuni stomped her foot in slight anger, her beautiful eyes blinking unhappily. But soon, Zhang Yuni figured it out. Since little Lin became the strongest mud embryo realm practitioner, he must be very happy. Maybe today I can act spoiled with little Lin. As she thought about it, Zhang Yuni's eyes curved into crescent moons again. After temporarily finalizing her plan, Zhang Yuni happily withdrew her gaze from the sky. Holding little Nyanian with one hand and waving a candied hawthorn stick before her eyes with the other, she continued her persuasion enterprise. Looking at this brightly colored, gleaming candied hawthorn, little Nyanian reached out her small hand trying to grab it. But each time she extended her hand, she withdrew it to hug herself, her watery big eyes full of internal conflict. Come, Nyanian. Just call me Mama, and Mama will give you candied hawthorn. Not just one stick, from now on, whenever Nyanian wants to eat candied hawthorn, Mama will buy it for you. As she spoke, Zhang Yuni took out a large mallet from her storage bag, the mallet covered with candied hawthorn sticks. When she saw the mallet full of candied hawthorn, little Nyanian's eyes sparkled as if seeing a great treasure. Little Nyanian leaned forward trying to touch them, but just as her tiny fingers were about to reach the candied hawthorn, she quickly withdrew her hand and shook her head vigorously. I really want to eat candied hawthorn so much, and there's so many. Daddy never lets Nyanian eat this many candied hawthorn. But Mama is Mama, and sister is sister, how can I call sister Mama? If Mama found out, would she be angry with little Nyanian? But looking at the candied hawthorn, then at the sister holding her, little Nyanian's chubby tail wagged indecisively back and forth. Within the Sun-Moon cult, gambling tables had appeared everywhere, tea houses, wine houses, and gambling houses were all bustling with activity. Come, come. Place your bets. Brothers betting that Zhang Lin will shatter the martial fortune place here. Those thinking that kid Zhang Lin will accept the martial fortune place here. For those guessing how much martial fortune Zhang Lin can ultimately collect, whether 1% or 2%, bet separately. Major gambling houses quickly opened tables, especially at the Sun-Moon cult's largest gambling den where Eagle Big and others kept shouting their offers. MMP, is there even any question? That kid Zhang Lin will definitely use every ounce of strength to collect the martial fortune. Not necessarily. Zhang Lin is a pure martial artist now. In over a decade, no strongest first-realm martial artist has absorbed martial fortune. This is the imposing aura of martial artists, relying on oneself rather than heaven. Although these external things are good, shattering them with one punch is so imposing. Plus, it's beneficial for mental cultivation. Could it be that we're only seeing the first layer, while that guy is actually on the fifth layer? I'm conflicted too. What if that guy intentionally doesn't collect martial fortune just to win our money? Didn't he make a killing last time? Damn it. That little thief Zhang Lin is too shameless. This is utterly brazen. After all, ever since a young girl shattered the overwhelming martial fortune over a decade ago, no strongest realm martial artist born in recent years had accepted the martial fortune. It was as if anyone who accepted it would be like a husky mixing into a wolf pack. Before various gambling tables, Sun Moon cult cultivators argued fiercely about whether that kid Zhonglin will absorb martial fortune. Meanwhile, in a small pavilion at the Chen residence, Zhonglin and Chen Huo were engaged in intense combat around a stone table. Even wrapped up like a mummy, Chen Huo found an opportunity to ambush Zhonglin, using a strong man-locks mail technique as the two tangled together. Uncle Chen, you're injured, don't act recklessly. Pa. You have the nerve to say that. If you hadn't threatened me into this forced transaction, would I have been discovered by Zhao Zhuang? If I hadn't been discovered by Zhao Zhuang, would I have been beaten into comprehensive shattered fractures? Zhonglin momentarily didn't know what to say. Comprehensive shattered fractures? That's serious. But to be able to lock him up despite being beaten like this, Father Chen's recovery ability was truly astonishing. Zhonglin suddenly gained new appreciation for Father Chen's martial realm. Zhonglin, I'll fight you to the death. Wait. It hurts, it hurts. Wait. I'm the one being bent, uncle, why are you shouting? Nonsense, everything hurts when I exert force now. After saying this, Chen Huo continued applying force. Immediately the two screamed together again. Zhonglin. Don't you dare lay a finger on my daughter. Uncle Chen. Your daughter initiated it, this has nothing to do with me. However, in the end, all this martial fortune was shattered. Many people tried to find this young girl, but were stopped by old recluses hidden deep in mountains and forests. To this day, all that was known was that she was a girl, any other speculation was strictly forbidden. It hurts, it hurts. Father. To prevent some people's deductions, even 3 renowned sages from the Confucian, Buddhist, and Taoist traditions appeared to conceal heavenly secrets. Wrong. Father-in-law. You little thief, say that again. Father-in-law. Zhonglin. Today you will die. Damn it. You told me to say it, uncle. Wait. I think you must have misunderstood something. Zhao Jia and I are just friends. Then why did you say my daughter initiated it? Nonsense, your daughter was the one who initiated hitting me. 5 minutes later, Zhonglin and Father Chen sat facing each other drinking tea, both their tea holding hands trembling. Zhonglin, you should have explained this clearly earlier. Zhonglin's eyebrow twitched. Uncle Chen, you didn't give me a chance to explain. Ha ha ha, misunderstanding, all a misunderstanding. Chen Huo laughed heartily, his bandaged pig's trotter-like hand lifting the teacup. I toast young Master Zhong. Forget it, forget it. Zhonglin rubbed his shoulder. Uncle Chen, you should still have 2 belly bands left, right? Quickly give them to me. If we get discovered again, we're really finished. What's the hurry? Chen Huo waved his hand, reaching into his fully bandaged abdomen, slowly fishing out peony-patterned clothing. He smiled like a silly turtle. Don't worry, Zhao Zhuang won't discover them. I'm keeping them close to my body. Chapter 77. This is absolutely not possible. Above the Chen residence, clusters of martial fortune gathered in the air, lingering without dispersing, waiting for that guy on the ground to absorb them. But that idiot on the ground was sitting together with a mummy, not even glancing their way. For a while, the martial fortune grew increasingly dense, like a dark cloud hanging over the Chen residence. Normally, this martial fortune could directly rush into his body and force him to absorb it, but the problem was the fist aura in this residence was too strong. The martial fortune didn't dare approach even one step. Meanwhile, many brothers who had already placed bets were staring intently at the sky above the Chen residence, watching to see whether Zhonglin would absorb or disperse the martial fortune. But after 15 minutes, the martial fortune was still hanging in the air. What is that Zhonglin kid doing, absorb or disperse? He should give us a clear signal. Do you think Zhonglin might be hesitating? Possibly. That kid might really want to absorb this martial fortune, but he's worried it would be somewhat embarrassing. That kid fears embarrassment? His sense of shame is the cheapest thing about him. He's probably calculating the odds right now. Hey, by the way? What are the current odds? Meanwhile, in the pavilion of the Chen residence, watching Chen Huo's hand, wrapped up like a giant pig's trotter, slowly hook the belly band out from under the white cloth, Zhonglin deeply rubbed his face. Then leaned forward to snatch the belly band. Chen Huo promptly leaned back and avoided Zhonglin. Zhonglin, What do you think you're doing? What do you think? Of course I'm taking it back. Jonglin looked like he wanted to cry but had no tears. This won't do. I bought this belly band through my own means, what right do you have to take it back? Uncle Chen, if your wife discovers this, we're both finished. Ah, don't worry. Chen Huo whispered, my wife won't find out. What about that belly band in the study? Well, that was an accident. Just an accident. No, Uncle Chen, I still need to take this belly band back. I'll still need to rely on Madam Chen when I break through to the second realm of martial arts. Jonglin, are you looking down on me? Is my martial arts realm inferior to my wife's? Jonglin gave a look of utter disdain at Chen Huo, who had comprehensive comminuted fractures throughout his body. That's a case of a real man not fighting women. I, Chen Huo, never hit my wife. No, I still can't agree. I still need to take it back, otherwise I'll tell Madam Chen that you've secretly hidden 2 more belly bands. Jonglin straightened up, his righteous and serious expression making him look more like someone cracking down on indecency rather than selling belly bands. What a shame. I was originally planning to buy a few more pieces. Since it's come to this, Brother Zhang, you may take them back. As he spoke, Chen Huo took out a mid-grade spirit stone from his storage bag, sighed helplessly, and made as if to put it back into the storage bag. Just as the spirit stone was about to enter the storage bag, the stone in Chen Huo's hand flashed past and was snatched by Jonglin, who wiped it clean before putting it into his own storage bag. Brother Zhang, what is this? Jonglin rubbed the corner of his eye, looking quite troubled. This junior has reconsidered. The customer is God. I have no reason to refuse God's requests. What is God? Oh, you can understand it as a deity. So Brother Zhang means? Jonglin snapped his fingers, casting an isolation barrier around the small pavilion. Martial artists weren't cultivators, so even if Madam Chen was incredibly powerful, she couldn't possibly hear them. Jonglin then took out multicolored belly bands of various patterns and styles, arranging them on the stone table with a smile. This one is the peony belly band from the young lady at the wine shop. This is the latest style from Widow Wang in West Village. This one is the lily pattern from that female sword cultivator east of here. And this one, the chrysanthemum pattern from Chrysanthemum Peak next door. These are all fresh stock, absolutely genuine. I'll compensate tenfold for any fakes. And this one? Oh, this was worn by a female giant serpent from 10,000 Snakes Peak to the south. Since she hasn't transformed human legs yet and crawls on the ground daily, it's somewhat worn out. I'll take them all. Chen Huo took out a high-grade spirit stone from his storage bag. Uncle Chen, I operate with principles. I can't make change for this high-grade spirit stone. Keep the change. Jonglin narrowed his eyes slightly. There was definitely something fishy going on here. Uncle Chen was absolutely henpecked, yet he still wanted to support his business. Not only that, but he was practically giving him a high-grade spirit stone. This absolutely had to be a trick. Seeing Jonglin's expression, Chen father chuckled. Jonglin, don't worry. We're both from the demonic cult, we're the most honest people. Alright, I'll be straight with you. I, Chen Huo, see that you, Brother Zhang, are dashing and heroic, with great future prospects in the Tao. You've also practiced our Chen family's crushing God fist. I want to become sworn brothers with you, what do you think? Chen Huo looked at Jonglin with sincere eyes, not avoiding his gaze at all, filled with nothing but genuine intent. Joking aside, if I become sworn brothers with this Jonglin kid, then wouldn't he become Zhao Jia's uncle? I could even have Zhao Jia recognize him as her godfather. Then how could this kid still marry Zhao Jia? Meanwhile, Jonglin looked into Chen Huo's sincere eyes and also fell into deep thought. Uncle Chen definitely didn't want to become sworn brothers for this reason. Although he didn't know Uncle Chen's true purpose, what benefits would there be in becoming sworn brothers? Although they say nothing tastes better than dumplings, nothing's more fun than. After becoming sworn brothers, Chen Jia could call him uncle. He could even have Chen Jia call him daddy. But his extremely strong survival instinct told Jonglin that he couldn't become sworn brothers. If they did, something very serious might happen. And most importantly, he'd inexplicably gain an older brother. Would he have to call Chen Jia's father Anyai-chan in the future? Holy shit. No. This absolutely won't do. Uncle Chen, you must be joking. How could I presume to call you brother? This junior wouldn't dare. Why wouldn't you dare? We hit it off immediately upon meeting, like friends despite the age difference. Isn't his perfectly normal? No, not really normal. Normal. Not normal. Normal. Alright, normal. No, not normal. Just as the two were going back and forth and reached a speechless impasse, they felt the pavilion tremble. Moments later, Zhonglin's isolation barrier was shattered by a single punch. In their panic, neither Zhonglin nor Chen Huo could quickly put the belly bands back into their storage bags. Instead, they swept their arms together, gathering the belly bands into a bundle, then both pounced on top of them. "What exactly are you two doing?" Chen Ji looked at her father and Zhonglin lying on the table like they were swimming, limbs flailing constantly, her pretty eyebrows furrowing beautifully. Standing beside Chen Jia was Chen Mother, eyes narrowed with a smile. "Well, Uncle Chen was teaching me how to practice stance walking on the table." Yes, this move, the table prone fist stance, was created by me myself. Young Master Zhong is learning very quickly. Ha, it's because Uncle Chen teaches well. No, it's because young Master Zhong learns well. Alright, Zhonglin, the martial fortune has all dispersed. Martial fortune? Zhonglin, still lying on the table like a turtle, raised his head to see the sky full of martial fortune scattering in all directions. Chapter 78. What's there to repair? In the evening, lying on his flying sword, Zhonglin let the night breeze wash over him as he gazed up at the sky, desperately trying to keep the tears at the corners of his eyes from falling. How could this happen? How did he miss it? Remembering what happened that afternoon, Zhonglin felt as if 1,000 knives were twisting in his heart. When that martial fortune arrived, he had mistaken it for dark clouds and didn't pay attention, thinking it was about to rain. But damn it, it was actually the martial arts energy gathered from throughout Wudong Prefecture. In the end, Zhonglin soared into the air, using some inexplicable martial artist's intuition to collect this martial fortune. But unfortunately, he had missed the optimal timing, and soon after, this fortune scattered and dissipated. Though he felt this martial fortune wasn't that important to him personally. After all, practicing fist techniques was just his side gig while sword cultivation remained his main focus. He had heard that pearls condensed from martial fortune could be sold for money. Just thinking about this made Zhonglin feel as if thousands of flying swords were piercing his heart, like missing a limited-time skin sale promotion, or even worse, like failing to grab the red envelopes in family and class group chats on New Year's Eve. He felt like he had missed out on 100 million. Though he didn't understand why those guys were wailing when he missed the martial fortune. But that didn't matter anymore. Forget it, it's just 100 million. I'll earn it back next time. I can't go home looking sad. Zhonglin rubbed his face, thinking about how at Twin Peaks, his master and little Nyanyan were waiting for him to return home. This thought made him feel much happier. Besides, Zhonglin considered himself relatively fortunate. In his panic earlier, he had soared into the air on his sword, leaving half of his belly bands exposed on the stone table. Chen Mother's face had turned completely green with anger. He had even seen that pavilion collapse with a thunderous crash while he was collecting the martial fortune, followed by heart-wrenching screams that echoed through the skies. Hearing those utterly devastated cries, Zhonglin hastily collected some remaining martial fortune before making a quick escape without looking back. Sigh. He hoped Uncle Chen would survive this ordeal. Daddy, you're back. Little Linlin, welcome home. Setting aside his thoughts, Zhonglin had just landed when he saw little Nyanyan running toward him with her short little legs, her small tail wagging happily behind her. His master's eyes sparkled with pure, joyful excitement as she seemed ready to tackle him with her impressive assets, but Zhonglin dodged as skillfully as always. Yes, I'm back. Zhonglin picked up little Nyanyan while smiling and ruffling the hair of his pouting master who looked somewhat resentful. I brought gifts for you both. From his storage bag, Zhonglin took out 2 condensed martial fortune pearls. These were all the martial fortune he had managed to collect that afternoon, condensed into 2 small pearls. So pretty. Thank you, Daddy. Little Nyanyan took the sparkling little pearls, her eyes filled with delight. It seemed the dragon clan truly had an innate fascination with shiny objects. Little Linlin, are you proposing to your master? Master accepts. Zhong Yuni said happily as she also received a pearl. Master, stop joking around. Don't corrupt the child, Zhonglin gently tapped his master's little head. Master isn't joking. Little Nyanyan already calls me mama. Zhonglin looked at little Nyanyan who was clutching the martial fortune pearls in his arms. Noticing her daddy's gaze, little Nyanyan tucked the pearls under her arms and began fidgeting with her little fingers nervously. Daddy. It's all Nyanyan's fault, but. Seeing little Nyanyan's guilty little expression, Zhonglin found it both amusing and adorable. He pretended to be angry and asked, but what? But Mama Yuni's candied hawthorns were just too delicious. Little Nyanyan peeked at Zhonglin timidly and said in her soft, sweet voice, is Daddy angry? No, little Lin, you can't be angry with little Nyanyan. If you're going to be angry with me. We mother and daughter will withstand it together. Zhong Yuni took little Nyanyan from Zhonglin's arms, and both of them blinked their big eyes at him. Alright, I'm not angry. Lin smiled and gently patted both his master's and Nyanyan's little heads. Though Lin had missed the martial fortune and felt like he'd lost 100 million, seeing his master and little Nyanyan being so warm together made him feel like he'd gained 200 million. For little Nyanyan, who possessed the innate ability to judge whether others had malicious intentions. A basic capability of the true dragon clan. Even though his master had tempted her with candied hawthorns. The fact that little Nyanyan could call his master mama meant that she completely trusted his master, and that his master genuinely loved little Nyanyan too. This realization put Lin's mind at ease. Daddy really isn't angry with Nyanyan? Little Nyanyan blinked at Lin, tears welling up in her eyes as if about to fall. Lin picked up little Nyanyan while smiling and ruffling the hair of his pouting master who looked somewhat resentful. Then is little Lin not angry with master either? Yuni, holding little Nyanyan, asked even more happily. Lin frowned, curled his fingers, and gently gave his master a light knuckle tap on the head. No more tricking little Nyanyan from now on, understood, master? Lowering her little head, his master rubbed her own skull and said gloomily, understood. Like their usual daily life, although cultivators at the cave mansion realm and above didn't need to eat, Lin insisted that having the whole family eat together orderly was the greatest happiness. Even if he and his master didn't need to eat, little Nyanyan still had to eat anyway. So after returning to Twin Peaks, Lin prepared a table full of delicious dishes. After all three ate until they were completely full, Lin even made desserts using honey that his master and little Nyanyan had borrowed from the neighboring Black Mountain Peak. Then the family of three sat atop Twin Peaks, gazing at the star-filled sky. Lin continued telling his master and little Nyanyan stories about constellations and his child-friendly, mosaic-filtered versions of Greek mythology. As he spoke, Lin noticed that little Nyanyan in his arms had snuggled deeper into his embrace, her little tail curled up, while his master, who had been holding his arm, was leaning against his shoulder, peacefully asleep. Cultivating immortality, cultivating immortality. If at the end of cultivation, there's no one you love left by your side, what's the point of cultivating such immortality? Looking at the girl and woman beside him, Lin smiled slightly. He placed little Nyanyan in his master's arms, then picked up his master and carried them toward the room. Twin Peaks had two thatched cottages. One for his master and one for Lin. There had been a temporarily built thatched cottage that Lin had dismantled. These temporary structures just didn't feel safe to live in. Little Nyanyan was afraid to sleep alone, but now that she had his master, he couldn't keep letting her sleep with him forever. After placing both of them on the bed and tucking them in, Lin looked at the sleeping pair and thought about it. When he departed tomorrow, he probably shouldn't say goodbye to them properly. Otherwise, as a grown man, he might not be able to withstand their tears. Returning to his room, Lin wrote a letter for his master and little Nyanyan before settling down to sleep peacefully. The next day, just as dawn broke, right before the alarm clock made by Little Black, the Mohist cultivator of the Sun Moon cult, could swing its hammer down toward his stomach, Lin's eyes snapped open and he turned off the alarm. Just as Lin sat up and was about to sneak out of Twin Peaks to head to Donglin City. Thump. The moment he stood up from bed, Lin's legs gave way and he suddenly collapsed to his knees on the floor. Supporting himself on the edge of the bed, he struggled to stand up, clutching his lower back. What the hell? Why does my kidney hurt again? Chapter 79. This is what you said, Zealin little Lin, don't go. Don't leave master behind. Daddy, did Nyanyan make daddy angry? Daddy, don't abandon Nyanyan. Little Lin. Daddy. At the summit of Twin Peaks in the Sun Moon cult, the voices of master and little Nyanyan echoed through the air. Little Nyanyan clung tightly to daddy's face, her chubby tail wrapped firmly around daddy's head, while master hung from Lin's body like a koala. For a moment, Lin found himself completely immobilized. Lin had anticipated this outcome, which was why he planned to slip away early in the morning. But who could have predicted that the moment he got out of bed today, his legs would give way and he'd collapse to the floor. After coughing up one of the system-rewarded 9-flavor Renania pills and spending 15 minutes rapidly replenishing his energy, Lin had just stepped outside when he saw his master and little Nyanyan approaching with breakfast. Then, master discovered the farewell letter Lin had left on his room's table. And then, the crying began. Nyanyan. Let go first. Nyanyan. Lin, with his face tightly pressed against by little Nyanyan, felt like he couldn't breathe. Daddy, are you okay? Daddy. Sensing that daddy's breathing seemed labored, little Nyanyan said through her tears, her grip loosening slightly. It's okay, it's okay. Lin placed his hands under little Nyanyan's armpits and with a pop sound, pulled her off his face like removing a cork. But his master still clung to his back like a koala. Master, if you don't get down now, I'll ignore you. I. Zhang Yuni pouted aggrievedly, extremely reluctantly sliding down from Zhang Lin's back. Sigh. Zhang Lin couldn't help but sigh, feeling a headache coming on. He placed little Nyanian on the table and gently patted her little head. Nyanian, don't worry, Daddy is just going on a mission. Nothing will happen, and Daddy isn't abandoning you. As soon as Daddy completes the task, he'll return quickly. Daddy will bring back delicious treats for you. But... Little Nyanian blinked her sparkling eyes at Zhang Lin, her little tail resting weakly on the table. But little Nyanian wants to be with Daddy. That's not possible, it would be dangerous. Then Daddy was lying to Nyanian earlier when he said it was safe. Daddy really was deceiving Nyanian. Wah. Suddenly, dragon tears began falling continuously from little Nyanian's eyes, blinking onto the table and rolling across the floor. Damn it, who taught little Nyanian this move? She's actually learning to manipulate situations? It couldn't be Sister Fang Ryuo again. No, Nyanian, listen to Daddy. Zhang Lin wiped the corners of Nyanian's eyes and gently pinched her little nose. Daddy definitely won't be in danger, but Daddy is worried about Nyanian being in danger. What if Daddy doesn't have time to watch over Nyanian while working, and Nyanian encounters strange uncles? There are quite a few people these days who make their living through Lilicon practices. Little Nyanian lowered her head and sniffled. Daddy. What's Lilicon? Well, it's just dangerous, that's all, but it's not a problem for Daddy. Why not? Because Daddy sells swords. No. Because Daddy practices swordsmanship, he's a sword cultivator. Then little Nyanian wants to become a sword cultivator too. Little Nyanian wants to always be with Daddy. That's great. Zhang Lin had a sudden idea. When little Nyanian becomes a sword cultivator, she can protect Daddy. Little Nyanian will protect Daddy. Little Nyanian shook her little pink fists up and down, her determined little expression making Zhang Lin wipe away a nosebleed. Well, there goes another wave of cuteness overload. But even though Daddy really wants to teach Nyanian, Daddy has some things he needs to do. Otherwise, Daddy won't have money to buy sugar-coated hawthorns for Nyanian. If Nyanian doesn't cultivate, how will she protect Daddy? Nyanian. Nyanian. Little Nyanian lowered her small head, her little eyebrows slightly furrowed, her small hands clutching her little dress. So Nyanian should study swordsmanship and read books at home. When you become a great cultivator, you can protect Daddy. Daddy's master, Sister Uni, is very powerful. Sister Uni will teach little Nyanian sword techniques. Zhang Lin smiled as he pulled a small wooden sword from his storage bag. He remembered carving this little wooden sword back when he was waiting outside the women's bathhouse at Dragon Gate Sect. In the future, Nyanian must protect Daddy well. Nyanian will learn sword techniques well with Sister Uni. Nyanian will protect Daddy. Holding the little wooden sword, her eyes still glistening with tears, little Nyanian nodded like a chick pecking at rice. Nyanian is so good. Zhang Lin smiled as he patted little Nyanian's head, feeling ecstatic inside. Holy crap. I'm practically a genius. Not only did I manage to convince little Nyanian to stay home properly, but I also cleverly inspired her to develop a little belief about protecting Daddy well. If little Nyanian never remembers that I'm her father's killer, this will definitely become a difficult dilemma for her, whether to kill me or not. At that time, I can put on a performance, commit suicide to atone, then use a revive coin to escape. Perfect? Though if possible, Zhang Lin hoped this day would never come. After all, things are so good as they are now. Master, look, even little Nyanian is being so sensible. Surely Master won't keep crying and making a scene? Little Nyanian even calls you Mama. Standing up, looking at his master who had been keeping her head down while tugging at his clothes, Zhang Lin skillfully patted his master's little head. I. Zhang Yuni raised her tear-filled eyes to look at Zhang Lin, then glanced somewhat blushingly at little Nyanian. Humphrey. Little Linlin is too cunning, actually using little Nyanian to keep me in check. Before, I could secretly follow little Linlin on missions, but now with little Nyanian here, what should I do? Alright, Master, I'll return safely. Master needs to teach little Nyanian sword techniques properly. Master. Master understands. Zhang Yuni said quietly. It wasn't that she didn't like little Nyanian, on the contrary, little Nyanian was adorable and sensible, and even called her Mama. She cherished her too much to dislike her. After all, this was her and little Linlin's first child. She just wanted to be with little Linlin. Clearly, little Linlin didn't need to go out. Alright, when I return this time, I'll promise Master one thing. Really? Zhang Yuni raised her head, looking brightly at Zhang Lin. Anything at all? Seeing how happy his master looked, Zhang Lin smiled. Of course it's true, anything at all. After all, His master was somewhat silly and cute and wouldn't make any strange or excessive demands. It would definitely be something like ice cream cake or similar. At the same time, the woman being patted on the head by Zhang Lin felt extremely happy. He. Anything at all. You said it yourself, little Lin. Chapter 80, Only Sun Moon Cult has the most. Goodbye daddy. Nyanyan will be good. Little Lin, come back quickly, master is waiting for you. Remember not to eat too much candy, Nyanyan, you'll get cavities. Master, please also check some of the intelligent monsters on Twin Peaks, I suspect some might be absorbing essence energy. Don't worry, little Lin must take good care of yourself. Nyanyan will miss daddy, daddy must miss Nyanyan too. Yes, daddy will definitely miss Nyanyan and master. At the summit of Sun Moon Cult's Twin Peaks, Zhang Yuni held little Nyanyan as the mother-daughter pair waved at Zhang Lin, who was gradually disappearing into the distance riding a spirit energy horse. Zhang Lin also stood on the horse bidding them farewell. Only when the two figures on Twin Peaks completely vanished from his sight did Zhang Lin reluctantly withdraw his gaze. Although he didn't know why he felt like he was leaving his wife and daughter behind in the countryside to work and earn money in the big city, he had to admit. He truly couldn't bear to part with his master and Nyanyan. However, compared to his previously empty nest master, at least little Nyanyan could keep her company now. His master wouldn't be lonely anymore. As for the cultivation techniques his master was teaching little Nyanyan, Zhang Lin had asked her not to teach the Sun-Moon dual cultivation heart method yet, and to start with some basic sword techniques instead. This wasn't because Zhang Lin worried about Nyanyan cultivating too quickly and wanted his master to hold back, but because he felt there were some issues with the Sun-Moon dual cultivation. Although for some reason during his time in the Lost Trail secret realm, it suddenly started running smoothly. Like clearing out accumulated computer junk. Nyanyan was from the Dragon Clan. The Dragon Clan definitely had their own inherited heart methods. If the Sun-Moon dual cultivation conflicted with Nyanyan's dragon heritage, it could become problematic and might hinder her cultivation path. Even though he feared being burned to death by Nyanyan, he couldn't jeopardize her great Dao prospects. Moreover, the Sun-Moon dual cultivation primarily focused on sword techniques with heart method as supplementary. It was a cultivation method for sword cultivators. But not everyone could become a sword cultivator. The most essential requirement for a sword cultivator was a naturally nurtured life-bound flying sword. Due to the special physique of humans, nurturing a life-bound flying sword was relatively easier, though still not common. For demon races, it was even rarer. Even the ancient true dragon race was no exception. That night, Zhang Lin had asked the founding elder about dragon race cultivation issues. Legends said most dragons didn't use swords, instead cultivating their own heaven-earth methods. Although there were rumors of true dragon sword cultivators in ancient times, he heard those great dragon sword cultivators would often throw away their swords during battles and switch to breathing fire or slapping you with their claws. So having Nyanyan practice swordsmanship was mainly to comfort her, while the most important thing was. Zhang Lin reined in his spirit energy horse, which gave him a sidelong glance before dissipating into the air. Zhang Lin slowly descended in front of an academy. The academy was named Sun Moon Academy, opened by a down-and-out scholar. Rumor had it this impoverished Confucian scholar had chosen to enter government service, but during the imperial examinations, he forgot to bring his admission ticket. Forgetting his admission ticket was one thing, but the guy had gotten drunk the night before and woke up to find a girl lying beside him. Although this girl was a 300-pound tank, she happened to be the daughter of the current prime minister. Later, it was said the scholar simply couldn't drive the tank and fled overnight. Others said he couldn't withstand the daily tank crushing and eventually ran away. There were also rumors that it wasn't actually a tank at all. That was just made up. But rather a courtesan. The daughter of that country's prime minister had liked the scholar and had the courtesan frame him. Anyway, no one really knew what happened. Zhang Lin had asked the guy about it, but he would always just smile and shake his head, then start talking about how many ways there were to write fennel beans. After coming to Sun Moon Cult, this scholar's academy had actually done quite well. Basically, every family that wanted their children to study sent them here. After all, Sun Moon Cult only had this one academy. Seeing Zhang Lin descend into the courtyard outside the academy, the scholar stopped his lecture and smiled. We'll have a pop quiz in 15 minutes. Review your materials first. Anyone scoring below 60 today? I'll tell their parents. Amid the chorus of groans from within the academy, the scholar walked out and bowed to Zhang Lin. Young Master Zhang. Master Kong. Zhang Lin returned the greeting with a Confucian bow. Scholar Kong smiled. Actually, young Master Zhang can just call me by my name. Zhang Lin's eyebrow twitched. Only a ghost would call this guy by his name. His surname was Kong, and his given name was Baba, Daddy. Ha ha ha, Master Kong really knows how to joke. Then I'm afraid no one will appreciate my latest Jin artwork. As he spoke, Jonglin took out a small illustrated booklet. The moment Jonglin produced it, Kong Bubba snatched it with one hand and righteously tucked it into his long sleeve. Ha ha ha, young Master Zhang, what are you saying? Just joking, please don't mind. But does young Master Zhang have business today? Oh, it's like this. I have a daughter, you know. Kong Bubba nodded. I've heard. A girl named Nyanyan, right? It seems young Master Zhang is truly remarkable. The new generation flower thief certainly lives up to his reputation, even managing to. Ahem. What instructions does young Master Zhang have? I, Kong, will absolutely not refuse. Seeing Zhonglin's narrowed eyes, Kong Bubba quickly changed his tone. Here's the situation. Since Zhonglin was rushing to get to Donglin City, he didn't waste words with this guy. I've already discussed with my master. In a couple days, we'll send little Nyanyan here to study. Confucian classics are essential learning. I ask that Master Kong take good care of her when the time comes. Hearing that Zhonglin wanted to send his daughter to study, Kong Bubba quickly bowed, his tone becoming serious. Since young Master Zhang trusts me, Kong, though I may lack talent, I will exert my utmost effort in what I teach and impart. Then I'll trouble Master Kong. Zhonglin also bowed, then secretly handed Confucius another illustrated booklet filled with holy light effects. Ah, young Master Zhang, this won't do. Confucius protested, though his hand quite honestly tucked the booklet into his other sleeve. Zhonglin laughed and hooked his arm around Confucius's shoulder. If any brat dares to approach my Nyanyan with improper intentions toward her, what do you think should be done, Master Kong? Young Master Zhang, rest assured. I'll make sure that kids' homework gets super multiplied. Ha ha ha, Master Kong truly is practical. I'll leave it to you then, Master Kong. Young Master Zhang, travel safely. The two exchanged bows farewell. Confucius watched Zhonglin riding off into the distance before slowly withdrawing his gaze. Patting the uniquely styled yet extremely attractive illustrated booklets in his sleeve, Confucius slowly walked back to the classroom. True friends are hard to find in this world, only Sun Moon Cult has the most. Chapter 81, Smiling Like a Flower. Brother Zhang. Brother Zhang, wait a moment. Brother Zhang, please wait. Brother Zhang. Just as Zhonglin had left the Sun Moon Cult's protective formation and was galloping away on his horse, 2 humans, 1 pig, and 1 bird flew over from behind. Zhonglin reined in his spirit energy horse and slowly turned around. What's wrong with you all? Are you here to see me off? Of course. Brother Zhang. You're going on a mission. As brothers, we naturally came to see you off. Jijibo said while panting heavily. Zhonglin smiled at them. Cut the nonsense. I've been on missions so many times before, I've never seen you come to see me off. Well. Fang Kekun scratched Wook's head. We heard Brother Jiang's trip to Donglin City this time might be a bit dangerous, so we brothers came to see you off. Wook slapped away Fang Kekun's paw and took out a golden lotus with a smile. Brother Jiang, this golden lotus was fertilized by me myself. It has miraculous effects for treating knife cuts, club strikes, internal injuries, and sword energy wounds. Wook, you fertilized it yourself? Brother Jiang, don't worry. I definitely washed this lotus clean. As he spoke, Wook rubbed the lotus on his own body. Brother Zhang, if you don't believe me, smell it, it still has floral fragrance. Forget it. I'll take it. Zhonglin took out a cloth strip to wrap the lotus and put it into his storage bag. Actually. Brother Zhang, I have one more request. I know, still looking for a woman, right? Named Kuya, right? It's Lianhua. Okay, if I find her, I'll definitely tell you. Then I thank Brother Zhang. But Wook, every time we go on missions, you ask us to keep an eye out. Wouldn't it be better if you went to look yourself? Better than staying holed up in the Sun Moon Cult. Brother Zhang, you don't understand this. Everything depends on fate. Brother Zhang, our belly band business, old Wang next door is copying it. What should we do? It's fine. Old Wang has strict family management. He just wants to save some private money. Understandable. Kekun, go tell old Wang I plan to expand into female business. Ask if he wants to partner up. Okay. Brother Zhang, my wife went to find old Bull. What should I do? I'm panicking. As he spoke, Jijibo stuffed a bag of pig feed into Zhonglin's hands. This feed is my Jijibo's secret recipe. It refreshes the mind, wakes you up, and fills your stomach. If Brother Zhang gets too hungry, you can eat it. Get lost, you bastard. Zhonglin raised the feed as if to throw it away. But after thinking about it, Jijibo's family feed was indeed quite famous. What if he encountered a pig demon? Maybe he could use this as bait. Putting the feed into his storage bag, Jijibo, I don't think old Bull likes your wife. Why would you say that, Brother Zhang? What's wrong with my wife? Big belly, big ears. Weighs over 400 pounds. What reason does that bullhead have to not like my wife? Zhang Lin's eyebrow twitched. Gigi Bo, don't get excited first, old bull is quite honest and simple-minded. When he came to me to buy the dairy ants belly band next door, he even blushed. How could he like your wife? Then what does Brother Zhang mean? Gigi Bo, think about if you've done anything wrong recently. Your wife might be angry, maybe she's deliberately trying to provoke you. Gigi Bo used his big pig trotter to stroke his chin, lost in thought. Brother Zhang, this is my newly grown essence hair, it can grow big or small, when cold it can be a blanket, when ears itch it can be an ear pick, please don't disdain it. Eagle Big plucked a hair from his armpit and handed it to Zhang Lin. Speak, what do you want now? Taking his hair, Zhang Lin put it into his storage bag. That Spirit Eagle has been getting very close to an eagle named Eagle Bai recently, Brother Zhang, my heart aches so much. This is simple, Eagle Bai is actually just a scumbag eagle, many female birds have been tricked by him without knowing. Go investigate the female birds Eagle Bai has been approaching recently, then you can sabotage from within. Eagle Big suddenly had an epiphany, so that's how it is. Alright, if there's nothing else, then I really need to leave now. When I return, let's play another round of tense and exciting flying chess. Farewell, Brother Zhang. The two humans, one pig, and one bird bowed with clasped hands. Zhang Lin also bowed in return before mounting his horse and galloping into the distance. Until Zhang Lin disappeared from everyone's sight, the two humans, one pig, and one bird slowly withdrew their gazes. Wook bent his elbow and poked Eagle Big. Wook, what are you doing? Wook stroked his chin. Do you think Brother Zhang might have already had some suspicions about our true identities? This. Who knows? Gigi Bo grinned, scratching the pig hair on his head. Fang Kekwa also said with a smile, but even if he has suspicions, even if Brother Zhang knew, do you think Brother Zhang would care about these things? You're right. Eagle Big nodded his chin. Perhaps for Brother Zhang, no matter who we are, right now, we're just minor cultivators in the cave mansion realm. Hee, birds of a feather flock together, bad eggs stick together. Gigi Bo on the side wiped his nose and chuckled foolishly. As a result, the two humans and one bird slowly turned their heads and started rubbing him in the air. The further Zhang Lin went, the more an idea came to him. He transformed his spirit energy horse into a Ferrari, then installed an automatic navigation ball designed by the Mohist cultivator Little Black according to his requirements onto the Ferrari's front. Adjusting the seat to lie back, Zhang Lin felt extremely comfortable. Just as Eagle Big and the others said, there were so many seemingly ordinary people in the Sun Moon cult, but so what? I only know them as they are now, and that's enough. Sigh. Better finish the mission quickly and return to the cult. Lying there, Zhang Lin suddenly remembered little Nyanian. It had been over 2 hours since he last touched little Nyanian's little head. So uncomfortable. Mama, I miss Daddy. At the Sun Moon cult's twin peaks, little Nyanian sat in Zhang Yuni's embrace, her tail drooping listlessly as the little girl gazed longingly at the sky where Daddy had left. Mama misses Daddy too, but Daddy will be back soon, little Nyanian, don't worry. Zhang Yuni kissed Nyanian's head and smiled. Nyanian should take a nap, practice sword with Mama in the afternoon, okay? When Daddy returns, Nyanian will definitely practice sword well to make Daddy happy. So good. Gently picking up little Nyanian and returning to the thatched cottage, singing two tigers that Zhang Lin had taught her, the sweet song slowly lingered in the quiet and peaceful grass hut. Dragons have a sleepy period when they're young. Soon, little Nyanian's eyelids began to droop. After 8 tigers lost their ears, little Nyanian gently grasped her small blanket with her little hands, emitting steady breathing sounds. Looking at the pink girl lying on the bed, Zhang Yuni's eyes shone brightly. So cute, I want to have a daughter with Zhao Lin too, then little Nyanian will have a little sister. Leaning down to kiss little Nyanian's pink cheek, Zhang Yuni gently placed Nyanian's tail back under the blanket, applied a soundproofing formation, then walked out of the thatched cottage with light steps. Just after leaving the grass house, she saw Feng Ryuo slowly descending, bowing slightly. Feng Ryuo pays respects to the cult master. Why have you come? In an instant, Zhang Yuni's jet black long hair cascaded down her back, reaching her waist. Originally a head shorter than Feng Ryuo, she now stood half a head taller than her, with a slender figure. Her black eyes resembled transparent black agates, and her aloof demeanor gave off a sense of distance that could only be admired from afar. Oh, that kid Zhang Lin asked me for a bottle of mountain spirit repellent before he left, said something about flower spirits taking form on Twin Peaks that would absorb essence energy. As she spoke, Feng Ryuo looked at Zhang Yuni with a half smile, shaking the potion in her hand. I wonder if the cult master will use it herself, Or should this humble one take care of driving away the flower spirits? Alright, if there's nothing else, then I really need to leave now. When I return, let's play another round of thrilling and exciting aeroplane chess. Oh, Cult Master's face is a bit red. Are you sick perhaps? Feng Ryuo. You're at it again. Looking for a beating. Cult Master, I was wrong. Wrong. Before the beautiful woman's small hands could strike, Feng Ryuo lightly stepped away. Zhang Yuni, with slightly reddened cheeks, didn't chase after her always unreliable close friend. Her eyes gradually turned serious, even carrying a murderous coldness. Is Zhao Lin going to Donglan City this time because of the solitary demonic cult matter? Feng Ryuo also gradually restrained her smile. Should be, but Zhao Lin didn't say much about it. Humphrey. Solitary demonic cult. Zhang Yuni coldly snorted, heavily swinging her long sleeve. A sharp sword energy cut through the sky, splitting the layers of clouds, as if wanting to sever the sun and moon. Chen residence. A girl raised her head and stared blankly at the sky, not withdrawing her gaze for a long time. He's already gone, why are you still looking? The girl's mother walked over and gently tapped her daughter's forehead. Behind the girl's mother was Chen Huo lying on a stretcher, unable to move. Mother, I want to go to Donglan City too. The girl named Chen Jia lightly bit her lip, grabbing her mother's sleeve. No. But that beast he. On the path of cultivation, life and death are one's own responsibility. We martial artists all know this principle, let alone sword cultivators who have the strongest killing power. Chen mother stroked the girl's hair. Don't worry, although that boy is quite unreliable, if something really happened, mother thinks it would be quite difficult for him. You should focus on preparing for next year's sect competition. Zhang Lin should be going then too. Lightly biting her red lips with pearly white teeth, the girl raised her head again to look at the horizon, her thoughts drifting away. Hey. What's your name? I'm Zhao Jia, the Jia from marrying. Oh, the Jia from kidnapping, little Jia. I'm Zhonglin, Zhong from Zhonglin, Lin from Zhonglin. You. What are you doing in my family's yard? Are you a thief? How could that be, little Jia? Have you ever seen a thief as handsome as me? Then what are you here for? For. Why not for? Damn, don't hit people, no, don't bite people. I'm just here to hide from some enemies. Ah. Hey, Zhonglin, play house with me. Play what? House. What? Not okay? It's not that it's not okay, alright, let's play then. We have a daughter. The girl said happily while holding a cloth doll. Our daughter seems a bit ugly. What are you saying? No, pretty, really pretty. Then let's name her. The boy thought for a moment, how about calling her Anan? Anan? Why? The boy looked at the flat cloth doll, stroking his chin, safe and peaceful, how nice. Anan? The girl thought for a moment, then happily nodded. Okay, let's call her Anan. Still looking up at the sky, the girl gradually emerged from her thoughts, gazing into the distance where he had left. Her smiling face was like a flower. Dragon Gate Sect. Senior sister, please say something. Senior sister, the founding elder said he was wrong. Senior brother Zhang Lin did not ascend the adult staircase. Senior sister, please eat something. Senior sister, you haven't eaten for half a month. Yes, senior sister, although you can completely abstain from food, senior brother Zhang said the human body needs to supplement amino acids and protein. Right, senior sister, how could someone as straight as senior brother Zhang lose his virginity? You have to believe in senior brother Jiang's ability to remain single forever. Exactly. When senior brother Zhang invited me to drink, I deliberately got drunk, waiting for senior brother Zhang to do something to me, but senior brother Zhang only drew a turtle on my face. How could such a fool lose his virginity? Senior sister. Outside the mountain peak's barrier, many Dragon Gate sect disciples came to persuade their senior sister. Ever since that day when the founding elder said junior brother Zhang Lin had lost his virginity, senior sister hadn't been herself, gripping her long sword tightly as she tried to charge outside. Finally, the founding elder and master's wife forcibly pulled her back and confined her to her own mountain peak. In an instant, Zhang Yuni's jet black long hair cascaded down her back, reaching her waist. Originally a head shorter than Feng Ryuo, she now stood half a head taller than her, with a slender figure. Her black eyes resembled transparent black agates, and her aloof temperament gave off a sense of distance that could only be admired from afar. Founding elder, it's all your fault. A Dragon Gate sect female cultivator pouted. Yes, founding elder, if you hadn't spoken nonsense, how could senior sister be so heartbroken? Last time, founding elder, you took senior brother Zhang to learn dialects. Right. Founding elder, last time you dragged senior brother Zhang to the women's bathhouse. Outside the cave, many Dragon Gate sect female disciples blamed their founding elder, who looked extremely embarrassed, constantly scratching his head. "I'll do it myself." The woman in the black long dress with aloof temperament immediately took the weed killer from Feng Ryuo's hand. That kid Zhang Lin had returned to the demonic cult, and this little girl Qingwen was also lovesick. How could his two most promising juniors be so troublesome? The Dragon Gate sect founding elder entered the barrier, cleared his throat, descended the mountain peak, and knocked on the door. "Qingwen. Actually, it really was me seeing wrong. That Zhang Lin guy is definitely still a little kid. You don't need to worry. You know, your founding elder usually likes to talk big. That Zhang Lin kid showed me some medicinal bath ingredients used by martial artists. He must want to practice boxing. I misjudged because his waist was sprained. If Qingwen doesn't believe me, your founding elder will swear to heaven." "Your founding elder I." Thump. Before the founding elder finished speaking, a sword light shot straight up, breaking through the wooden house, piercing through the clouds. Even the confinement formation was pierced by this sword light. As the sword light flashed, a graceful woman with flowing long hair holding a sword landed gracefully. Lin Qingwen gave her founding elder a white-eyed look without saying much. After the barrier was broken, the junior brothers and sisters in the sky above the mountain peak landed slowly, sweating slightly. Qin Zhao wiped his face. "Founding elder, don't swear anymore. Swearing 5 times wouldn't help either." Was that swearing technique taught by senior brother Zhang? The founding elder's old face reddened, as if wanting to make more excuses. Feng Ryuo also gradually restrained her smile. "Should be," but Zhao Lin didn't say much about it. "Oh, you've really figured it out?" The founding elder was shocked. Had this stubborn girl seen through worldly desires? "I've figured it out," Lin Qingwen said calmly. "I believe junior brother Zhang wouldn't be so careless with himself. There must have been some seductress who used dirty methods on junior brother. I'm going to Donglin City. I'm going to protect Zhao Lin. No seductress will ever get close to Zhao Lin again."